Hi, my name is Amy Dreen, and I'm going to talk to you today about the correct way to stretch. I've been a physical therapist for 30 years, and I've seen a lot of people stretch incorrectly. So I'm going to emphasize some of the things that I've seen in my patients over my career of doing things incorrectly to make sure you do them correctly. The first stretch muscle we're going to stretch is the quadricep muscle. That is a muscle that goes starts up here and it crosses your knee joint. So what you want to do is you want to stand holding on to something, and you want to bring the knee close to your other knee. Common mistake I see is people go like this and they're not stretching, or like this and they're not stretching their quad. You want to keep your foot as close to your buttock as possible and your knees close together. And try not to arch your low back. You want to hold the stretch for 30 seconds. Research shows that a low load prolonged stretch is one of the most effective ways to stretch a muscle. You do not want to bounce, and you want to hold it there and repeat it about 2 to 3 times on each side. The next muscle we're going to stretch is the gastrocnemius. That is a muscle that crosses the knee joint and goes all the way to your heel and attaches on your heel. You are going to get in a lunge position with the back leg straight, the front leg bent, and I want your toes pointing straight forward. Common mistake I see is they point your toes outward. By placing your toes straight forward, you are going to lock the foot and you will get a more effective stretch in your gastrocnemius muscle. And you're going to lean forward, keeping your back heel down to stretch your calf muscle. You want to hold again for 30 seconds, repeat 2 to 3 times on each side. After you've repeated on the other side, I suggest you take the foot and step a half step forward, and now we're going to stretch the soleus muscle. That is the other muscle that is in your calf that does not cross your knee joint. So now, in order to isolate that muscle, we're going to bend our knee, keep our back heel down. You will probably feel it a little lower down in your calf. Make sure that the toes are pointing straight forward, and you hold that for 30 seconds. Repeat it 2 to 3 times on each side. The next muscle we're going to stretch is down in a half kneeling position is the hip flexor muscle. This muscle originates in the front part of your lumbar spine, so back here, and the front part of your pelvis. So to effectively stretch it then attaches to the hip joint, is you have to flatten your low back. So I suggest you do that by doing a posterior pelvic tilt where you squeeze your buttocks and your abdominals to flatten your low back, and then you're going to lunge forward on this front leg to feel the stretch here. If you arch your back, that is an incorrect way to stretch it. It is the equivalent of stretching a rubber band but not holding both ends. That doesn't work so well. So instead, we're going to stabilize here, tuck this back, and lean forward. To enhance the stretch more, you can put your foot out and internally rotate your hip, and that will give you even more of a stretch. And I also suggest that you hold on to something for balance if you are having problems balancing, because if you are unstable and rocking and unsure, you can't effectively relax the muscle to get a good stretch. So there's no problem with holding onto a chair or someone else, or putting your hands on the floor. The next muscle we're going to stretch is the low back extensors. For that, I suggest you get onto your hands and knees. You're going to sit back onto your heels, and you're going to stretch forward. In yoga, this is a stretch called child's pose. And you're going to stretch forward, keeping your back down and stretching your arms away. Once again, holding it for 30 seconds, repeating it 2 to 3 times. Now, a variation on that is to stretch to the one side, and this will get more of your back here, and then to the other side. And so I'm shifting my buttocks more onto one foot and then onto the other foot and reaching away. Now we're going to lie down and we're going to stretch our piriformis muscle. This is a muscle that rotates your hip outward and it is in your buttocks. And so what we're going to do is lie down on your back. You are going to cross it in front of your thigh. You're going to reach between your legs to grab this thigh and you're going to pull it to your chest. You will feel the stretch right in your buttock. And you once again want to hold that for 30 seconds, repeat it 2 to 3 times. So if I was to switch, once again here and pull. Okay? Now that we're down on our back, I want to stretch your back muscles and your chest and all in your spine. So what we're going to do, put your arms out to the side. You're going to cross the left leg over the right, and you're going to pull the right knee to the left side. And keep your shoulder touching and feel the nice stretch in your spine and just relax, breathe, hold it for 30 seconds. And then you would come back, you would switch legs, crossing the right leg over the left to pull the knees to the opposite side. So my right leg is pulling my left leg over to the right side. And then come back and hold it once again for 30 seconds. Repeat it 2 to 3 times on each leg. Then you can come up to a sitting position and we can stretch our hamstrings. They are the muscles that attach to the buttock, the top part of the buttock, the ischial tuberosity, those are your sit bones, and it attaches to the back of the knee. And you can stretch both by leaning forward, or you can do one at a time by crossing this leg here and leaning forward over your leg. And you want to hold that once again for 30 seconds and repeat it 2 to 3 times on each leg.